Day 8. The end of our grand tour begins at home, in my own cottage in the village of Great Chew. After a bracing evening spent rejoicing in the delights of the brewing industry at the Falkland Arms, we were off at cock crow for London and 2 great institutions. Today we're going to Drake's, the fabulous tie makers, and to RBJ Simpson. Right. Whoa, rabbit. God, you can't film me running rabbits over.
Did you get it?
Nope. So after 8 days of habitual tardiness, we're early, which gives time for a visit to Shoreditch, one of the city's cooler quarters and centre of the sausage and egg craft industries.
As George Bush said when given the news about the collapse in the banking system, this sucker is going down.
It was the first daytime meal eaten outside of the Jaguar. Then we went in search of something even more artisanal. Drake's, renowned the world over for their handcrafted silks, are our go-to men for the tauts, ties, bows and hankies. Another firm long on tradition and home to artisans who wouldn't think of working anywhere else.
Michael Drake founded the company. At the time, the scarf business was very classic, small scarves in classic colours.
Yeah.
And he just blew the whole thing up. Bigger scarves, bright colours, big checks, and it was really a success overnight.
Yeah.
And the ties followed.
Yeah.
And now we're the biggest manufacturer of handmade ties in the UK. The wool interlinings we saw earlier is put into the tie, put inside the tipping, and that's what gives the tie its shape. She will pin it all the way down, and then with a very strong thread, stitch from one end to the other. She makes it look much easier than it is.
At this stage we're just lightly pressing the tie, hardly even touching the iron on the tie, just letting all the steam really do the work.
My name is Murray O'Valery. For 18 years I've been working for Drake's. We deal with all different wovens, motifs, and all that's got to be done exactly right. When you're actually laying the pattern down, you've got to make sure it's exactly precisely right on a 45-degree angle. I think gradually they've built their name through the good quality of silk and the making and the cutting. And that's what makes it very special.
Over the years, one of the things that's made London great is the quality of its crumble. Let's have a look at some of the factors that have made that crumble so special. Crumble comes in many forms, mainly from East London. The most obvious example of crumble is the sound of Bow Bells. Bow Bells was a church designed by Hawksmoor. If you're not careful when talking about crumble, you've got a danger of slipping into sounding a little bit like Ray Winstone. But now he's advertising Optivita cereal. So he's got a different kind of crumble on his plate.
This is the Creamer Street Business Park. Why do you always poke that camera into my mush whilst I is reversing? I'm feeling shattered. How do I feel about being here? Delighted. Delighted to be back at RBJ Simpson in the East End of London. This is the last leg of our journey and probably not the most picturesque, but inside it's another world. This odyssey set off in search of remains, of people hanging on, but it's turned out to be about resurgence and regeneration. It's also been, quite startlingly, about handwork. Fittingly, our last stop was at a company where there are virtually no machines at all. RBJ Simpson are the torch luggage suppliers, and I suspect incapable of mass-producing anything. Robert Simpson. RBJ Simpson are particularly known for
attaché cases, document cases, perhaps old-fashioned in some ways, luggage. But it's those specialist items which we manufacture in small quantities. Hard, traditional cases are the sort of thing that you would, I suppose, relate to Sherlock Holmes period. They're all hand-stitched, including the handle. You know, that can take 2.5, 2¼ hours work. They are built to have enormous use. I mean, if you take attaché cases, often as a person is being promoted and so on, he will invest in one of our cases and it will see him through for the rest of his career.
What a way to end.